as audio is now live.
Ah.
So everything we say about the audience will be heard.
Oh, crap.
I can mute
mean,
again
what?
if you want.
Nah, it's all fine. Just talk about it.
No way, guys.
We have chat rules. I never really knew that. Okay.
Ooh. Less than a minute to go.
Oh, I don't want to join Switch. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
It's just stuck in repeat.
Yeah. We go off all show. Sorry, folks. It's stuck.
One of my favorite things I paid way too much money for. A Los Angeles Chargers poker chip that acts as a marker for golf.
Ah.
Yeah. I think I paid $25 for this at the fucking airport.
Oh, well.
Yeah. That's what happens when you buy stuff at the airport drunk.
Yeah.
I wonder how much
Well,
stuff Robin has bought unintentionally when he's drunk.
Probably
The
a
tab
lot.
for that must be insane.
Like
Oh,
the,
right.
it's like Snoogans when he's drunk, he buys loads of PUBG skins, doesn't he? I think he spent over £1,000 on PUBG skins when he's drunk.
I
I
can't
don't feel
believe
so
I didn't
bad
get
now
any
about my COD skins.
and no response to. Oh wait, hold on.
The Gay Pride Parade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, ready when you are.
Alrighty.
All right,
If we have
let's
to.
do this.
Alrighty.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly?
I think we're just getting started. I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to episode 785 of the Overseas Connection podcast, coming to you live from the West Wing in Roseville, California, and other parts of the world that I just don't care about right now. Today
Yeah,
is
it
May
is.
19th, 2024, and we are a video game podcast. We talk about video game stuff, and that happens usually when I'm hosting, unlike when Robin hosts, which he just goes off on tangents about random things.
Racing.
Yeah, joining me today, two exceptional individuals, not from Northern Ireland, Mexico, hailing from some part within the bottom section, lower bowels of Yorkshire, Mr. Mark Wright.
The lower bowels of Yorkshire. Yeah, it's probably right. West Yorkshire's, yeah. Out of all the Yorkshires, we're the worst. Hello, Greg. Hello, Kim. Hello, everyone. Yeah, back again.
Yeah. Good to have you back, Mark. Good to have you back. Somebody responsible, somebody that speaks a proper accent, unlike the person from the northern parts. We'll no longer talk about his name will not be mentioned in this podcast ever again until next week. Below you and to my right on my screen, Miss Kim Woods.
Yeah, that's me. Although when you start in on the mark, I'm like, great, now he's gonna put me down around near Branson or something. But no, it wasn't me. So yeah, I'm glad to be here, and hi to you both. So
Hello back. All right. So we've covered some of the bits, but the important bits, hey, we do this every Sunday, 12 p.m. on the West Coast. That's really all you need to know. However, some of you are unlucky enough to live in other parts of the world that have tornadoes, have constant rain. And if you live in one of those parts, like constant tornadoes, it's probably right around 2 p.m. your time frame. If you are out on the East Coast and just dying of humidity and heat, that would be 3 p.m. And if you just live in constant rainfall, with the exception of every once in a while it becomes cloudy and doesn't rain, then it's about 8 p.m. your time.
It's actually been pretty decent the past 2 weeks. We've had a few days where we've had some rain, but overall, these past 2 weeks has been really warm and nice and sunny. Look, it's sunny outside. Look.
Mark
Wow.
confirming global warming is a thing.
About time we got some heat over here. Bring it on. Bring on global warming.
The rest of the world actually is clamoring global warming is bad, and everybody in the UK is like, yes,
Get the
bring
shorts
on
out.
global warming. All right. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitch every Sunday. So come check us out live. You can take part in the chat, have some fun. If not, we do put forward an audio version of the podcast, and that is there so you can get down with your workout on the Monday morning after you're hungover, and we'll be in your ear hole. So that all said, we have one birthday to celebrate. Mr. Gary Harris. Wow, Gary, holy shit. I did not realize you were 81 on May 23rd.
He wears it well.
He does. And he wears Depends too. It's a complete package.
I wasn't going to
Gary,
say anything.
Happy birthday, Gary. Mark, do we have a birthday song for Gary?
We do, yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Short and sweet,
All right.
but just like Gary.
Happy birthday, Boomer.
Happy birthday, Boomer. Again, 81. That's an accomplishment, man. That is
Right?
an accomplishment. And you look pretty spry for 81, I will say, except for the walking stick. All right.
It explains his gameplay in Call of Duty, though, doesn't it?
I wasn't going to say anything.
I don't know. He's better
because
than
I
me.
have no room to talk.
I love me too.
I'm the guy stuck in the corner doing circles, shooting the walls. All right, let's talk some story time. Lots to cover in this segment.
Everyone here loves story time, our favorite time of the day.
Okay, I'm looking at this and I see quite a bit on my list. I see monsters, television shows, and then boring on one list, and then I see the root cause of everybody's ailments these days, apparently, teeth. So we're going to start with Kim. Kim, what's been going on with your mouth?
Well, you see, it's like this. Like everybody knows, I got a wisdom tooth pulled out last week, which was fine for the first couple of days, other than it took forever to clot. But Sunday, after I got done with the show, as a matter of fact, swelling finally started because I couldn't figure out on the list of, they send you home a list of things like, take your medicine, yada, yada, yada. And on it had said, put an ice pack on your face for like the first 24 hours. And I'm like, well, I've had teeth pulled before. I never had any swelling. What are they talking about? So I ignored it. Yeah, I won't do that next month because it started swelling on Sunday and it finally stopped. I want to say Thursday, Friday. It finally started to go down and not, pain me terribly, which it wasn't terribly painful. It was more annoying than anything. So
Was the swelling we're talking like elephant man size swelling, or was it just?
you could definitely see that the right side of my face was definitely a little bit bigger than the left side of my face. You could definitely tell there was something going on. And then on top of that, my jaw hurt because there was a lump like between my cheek and my gum, I guess from the swelling, and I couldn't open my mouth all the way to eat. So I'm taking really tiny bites, and because if you opened your mouth any wider, it would hurt, and it's like, okay, this is not
It's
going.
like a forced diet.
Yeah, kind of. It's, I don't want to say it's like, it wasn't quite like lockjaw because I think it was the opposite of lockjaw. My mouth was closed. I just couldn't open it all the way. So, and it's still kind of doing that a little bit today. It's definitely better because this morning I could eat breakfast and no problem. But I noticed a little bit ago when I was eating lunch, the pain had started again. So I'm sure by, tomorrow or the next day, hopefully that should all be gone. But
I have reserved and stayed in my lane. There's so many jokes I want to make, Kim.
I know.
So many.
I know. Trust me, I've already thought about a few of them. But where the tooth actually come out, it's fine. There's been no pain because for a while there, when the swelling and stuff started, I was a little worried that maybe I had the dry socket. And they tell you that the pain from that is actually so bad that Advil won't cover it. Well, all the pain I ever had, Advil took care of it. So I was kind of surprised there. So all in all, that's all good. And if anything, I know what to prepare for next month when I have the one on this side pulled out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever like it? Okay, this is maybe just my own conscious thinking. When people tell you, "Oh, Advil's not going to be enough," and then I just go right to, well, would Advil and vodka work?
Right.
Just what's up the game?
I'll do what I did, just nick the wife's morphine.
Well, yeah.
Well, if I could do that, but I just stuck with the Advil because she told me too I could take Advil and Tylenol together. Well, I haven't taken Tylenol and I don't remember how long, so I don't even have Tylenol. But I could take 4 Advil every 6 hours. I thought that was a lot, but you know what? It did help. So, my liver is probably dead by now because what is it? Advil's not supposed to be good for your liver.
Yeah, but you killed
or
your liver long ago. This little trip down Advil lane is not going to do anything to that.
Right.
The liver says, "What's this? This isn't Fireball whiskey."
Right. This isn't booze. What the fuck is she? Which I had my first beer the other night because I bought beer, and of course, they told me it would be 7 to 10 days before all this would sort itself out. So I was good. I chewed on the left side of my mouth. I didn't drink soda. I didn't drink from a straw. I didn't have beer. I stuffed to mashed potatoes and pudding and the whole 9 yards. And let me tell you, that shit was starting to get old. But so I had my first beer. I've had a soda finally after all this time. So that'll be my luck. That tomorrow I'll wake up and have a dry socket tomorrow. That'll be my fucking luck.
So wait, okay, hold on. So do they attribute dry socket to eating?
Yeah, like drinking out of a straw or smoking. That
definitely,
sort of thing.
yeah.
That would make sense to be smoking.
Yeah, they told me no alcohol at all.
Right.
Really? Oh, it's just because it as a byproduct of alcohol, it dries out.
I don't know.
Well, that
it has to
dislodge the blood clot.
Yeah, it has to clot and then seal itself, seal the hole.
Right.
A dry socket is where it doesn't heal and there's a hole there.
Right.
Got it.
But they say usually that only happens within the first 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So technically, I'm well over. So
really, the name is wrong. They call it dry socket, but basically the condition of dry socket is it doesn't heal over and it continues to bleed and it's a problem, right?
Yeah.
And it's a pain. You can get an infection.
Would that not be?
It should be called gum hole
a fucking wet socket.
Yeah. Or it should be called gum hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Infected socket, or something like that. But anyway, so because I'm sitting here and Mark's complaining about his and everything, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, mine feels fine, and then the swelling hit, and I'm like, oh, okay, there it is,
Mine's been 2.5 weeks now, and mine's sort of like completely healed now. So it's just got a bit of a dip in, but it'll build itself up. But yeah, it's totally fine.
You're not supposed to say anything, K-Top.
But the aching jaw took a good week to go away.
Yeah, that's what I've got now. Up in here, it's a little sore.
I'm so not saying anything.
I know.
My jaw felt like Tyson Fury's last night.
I'm sure it did. Mr. Matthew in the house. Hello, Christopher Matthew.
Yeah.
All right, Kim. Outside of your
my tooth
mouth issue,
right? I bought another robot, but
okay.
This time I bought one for my cats.
Is this to kill the cats?
No. I bought a litter robot. Believe it or not, that expensive robot litter box thing that I swore for years I'd never buy. Well, I bought one. And so far, knock on wood, it seems to be running well. I mean, of course, the robot, of course, runs well, but I mean, the cats are actually using it, which for years I always said, with my fucking luck, I'll buy, this thing, because it was $600 and some, and that was for a reconditioned one, believe it or not. And I always said, well, my cats will never use it. You watch. And believe it or not, most of them are. So It's been kind of nice. Yeah. Uh-huh. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of thinking after I get this one paid off, because it's nice. They have this credit thing where if your credit's good enough, they can let you stretch your payments out, so you don't have to pay for it all in one lump sum, which is nice for somebody like me because I don't make that much. So payments are easy for me to do. But anyway, I pay $62 a month for the next year, which I'll probably double.
Just reminded me of it. So okay, so
I financed.
I've got a story to go with that now.
Okay. And so if things continue to go well, when this thing is paid off, I may go ahead and buy another one. So I'll never have to scoop a fucking litter box again. What's that like? I don't know.
All right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So speaking of the payment thing, so a long time ago, I established an Amazon credit card account to basically help build my credit.
Right.
The concept was basically charge up a little bit amount of stuff, pay it off, within 2 to 3 months every time you charge it up, which is pretty religiously what I've done.
Right.
Well, one of the things Amazon does is they will offer you these different choices on how you want your payments. You
Right.
can do 6 equal payments if for X amount of dollars, and they do it for less, like anything.
Mhm.
And so I wasn't really paying attention. My fault. I freely admit, wasn't really paying attention as I'm buying some stuff on Amazon, and they give you sometimes these, hey, here's a deal for 5% off. Do this,
Right.
and it's doing those equal payments over time. Well, not paying attention, I suddenly get this bill. Your Amazon bill is due. $837 was my minimum payment, and I'm like,
What?
Wow.
what the fuck did I? I'm thinking I charged or something got hacked. I go in and no, it's all these stupid equal payments. They suddenly started overlapping one another,
Oh.
and they all were like, hey, you have a $10 payment here, you have a $10 payment here, and so, yeah, needless
Yeah,
to
you
say,
gotta watch that.
yeah, I did a massive lump sum payment and got rid of all of that nonsense, and
Right.
Things are back to normal.
Well, that's good, because holy moly.
Now, hey, the 81-year-old boomer in the house.
He is.
Also, Louis Ramundo playing
Yes.
skills in the house. There we
Yep.
go. Yeah, seeing him coming in live.
Yeah,
They're leaving too? I
finally.
don't know.
All right.
All right, Kim. Anything else outside of
No,
robots
that's
killing cats?
not killing the cats, but
Oh.
no, I mean the kittens are all doing well. They are still getting to where they're wanting to move, so I've got to watch that. But the mama cats are keeping the raccoons at bay, so that helps. So yeah, everything's good.
Yeah, boomer. By the way, you really don't look a day over 80. All right, Mark. What's been going on your fantastically exciting week?
Right.
Yeah, pretty boring, really. Not much got done.
You didn't buy a $600 litter box?
No, I just shit in the toilet, me. But yeah, we've had really nice weather. Really nice weather over here. So it's been a cracking week. The week before we had a couple of days of rain, but yeah, 2 weeks of nice weather. So about time, really. So yeah, thank God for global warming.
Who says it's bad? Come on.
A couple of movies we've seen past couple of weeks. We've seen Godzilla, Kong, The New
Oh.
Empire.
Nice.
Okay.
Mixed thoughts on that one.
Yeah. The giant power glove.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
saw
have you
that in
seen
the
it?
trailer, and
Oh,
I
it was trailer,
instantly was like, I don't think
Yeah.
I can watch this movie.
Like the first Godzilla Kong movie, I quite enjoyed. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
With the Mechazilla thing. But yeah, it were a bit predictable, and it were a bit, well, obviously it's far fetched anyway, isn't it? But yeah, it were
Yeah.
it were a bit too far fetched. It had a nice underlying storyline involving the little girl who's like got this link to Kong. But yeah, it were all right. It were watchable. A good fun popcorn
watch it.
movie.
It's
I do have a
Godzilla,
question
so,
from the
yeah.
chat regarding Godzilla, and the question is Godzilla good? Now,
It-
I don't know if the context of this is he a good guy or
Right.
is he in a good movie?
Let's just say in this
But-
movie, Godzilla is pissed off and he's angry. So yeah, the cities what he tramps through, they don't do well out of it. But yeah, no, it's not too bad. It's watchable.
He protects the
pretty
planet, except for he kind of destroys it along the way
Yeah,
of doing that.
yeah.
That's his
Yeah,
deal.
Yeah, I won't spoil it, but there is a Titan a famous Titan who makes a return as well. So,
Okay.
Ooh.
yeah, so
Alright.
yeah, it's watchable. It's not brilliant, but it's a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and so was the other movie I've seen as well. Like I've always been a massive Ghostbusters fan from the first movie.
Yes.
I hated the one they did with the women, and I'm not being sexist, but it was shit.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that across the board.
Yeah.
It was trying to recreate the magic of the
Yeah.
original,
No, I didn't.
and they just
Yeah.
didn't have the star
Yeah.
power to do that,
Yeah.
nor the writing.
But yeah, I loved Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I was still at school when Ghostbusters 1 came out, and I'm the kid who did all my school books. I drew all the Ghostbusters symbol with a red circle line through it on all my school books. I was absolutely hooked on it. Afterlife, I loved Afterlife, and I liked how they brought the newer generation with the older generation, and this carries on from that. So the guys from Afterlife are now in New York in the firehouse, and we're carrying on the role of the Ghostbusters. And remember, in the original, they had that mayor guy who who has no dick. He's back as the mayor, and he's still got no dick because he's still an arsehole.
Awesome.
But yeah, there's some really good effects in it. There's so one of the actors in it, you've just seen him there, is a British comedian called James Acaster, and I don't think he makes a good actor. He's a good comedian, but I don't think he suits this role. That's let it down a bit for me. But yeah, the premise is really good. The ending, the ending was super quick. I don't know why. It felt like they rushed the end of it.
Ran out of budget.
Yeah. or times. Yeah. But yes, it was enjoyable. Again, like Godzilla, it's a good popcorn movie. A lot of nods to the original, as you just seen with the library scene and that. So yeah, it's worth a watch. It's quite enjoyable, really.
Yeah, I noticed that is, I think one of the biggest problems a lot of movies have, it is the ending, and it's either they draw it out too long, and they just don't know how to end the movie, or they wrap it up super short and don't do it justice and giving it enough breath to end. So
the main sort of like bad guy in this, the lead up to it for ages and ages, when it finally appears near the end, it's just over too quick.
All right.
So
I need to watch these movies because I have not seen these newer iterations of Ghostbusters. I was deeply turned off by.
Have you not seen Afterlife?
No, I've not. I've heard it's great.
I love Afterlife. Yeah, that is really good.
That might be my popcorn movie.
Yeah, because and this isn't a spoiler because it's well known everywhere. So do you remember Egon Spengler? So he's passed away, and the people in it are his descendants. It's his daughter and granddaughter who are the main characters.
Okay.
So yeah, and his grandson. So yeah. But yeah, Afterlife has got some really nice touches in, really good, sort of like memorial, like tribute to the guy Harold Ramis. Yeah, really touching at the end of that. So yeah, I liked Afterlife.
Okay, all right.
You need to watch them, Lewis. They're really good, really, really good.
All right, Lewis, you and I will have a watch party.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for me. Not a lot, really.
Okay, all right. Well, strap in. We've got quite a bit to go through. Here we go. Okay, so pool update. This really is the backyard update, right? So, in order to get a lot of other things happening in the backyard, we needed the pool to pass final inspection, and it did. So last Wednesday passed final inspection, which ironically, it's funny, it passed final inspection, yet it's not completely done. There's 2 giant concrete water bowls that are going to be going on the either side of where the waterfall is in our pool, and they're sitting on my driveway right now in a giant crate. They have to weigh a good 300 pounds each. It's So, but those will get put in on Monday, and then Wednesday. There you go. You got the pool showing right there. We got the nice purple color going on in the pool. Yes, there are LED lights in the pool, and I've, of course, been changing the colors like daily, driving my wife crazy. So we have the grass. Turf will be going in. It'll be off to the right side of that picture, actually, where you see kind of that dirt area. That'll be going in Wednesday. The patio cover to extend the barbecue kitchen area is going to go in Thursday. And then after that, the barbecue will be built in, and that should take about 3 days. So crossing fingers, June-ish, start of June, it should be relatively done. I've been mandated now by my wife because we have good friends of ours coming up this coming weekend. I have to get our pool chairs in. I've got to get the umbrella, so that I'll be buying stuff, more stuff. I swear to God, I'm writing checks left and right. It's nuts. Air filters. Let's talk about air filters. Everybody, everybody has air filters in their house, right?
No.
Yeah.
Not in our houses. In the cars, yeah.
No. In the houses, Mark.
Not here. We don't.
Well, that's because you guys don't understand the concept of air conditioning.
No, because it's not fucking warm enough here.
Much like toothpaste.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, so air filters. I have 3 air filters in my house that have to be changed out every 3 months. Fantastic.
You just set your
and I
camera
just-
off then.
Yeah, fuck off, camera. Anyway, so you'd think they'd all be the same size, but
Right.
no. So one air filter is 20 by 36. I thought by 1, which is commonly your air filters are only 1 inch thick.
Mhm.
No, 20 by 36 by 2. So that was a series of buy and return and then buy again because I had to get the right filter. And then I have 2 14 by 14 air filters. Now I went and bought a 14 by 1 thinking that's what they were. Again, I open up the first one. It's 14 by 2. 14 by 14 by 2. Fantastic. Got to return them, buy new ones, get it in. I go to the other filter. I shit you not, it's 14 by 1.
So the one you've returned, you could have used.
Yeah. Well, motherfuckers. So I have 3 different air filters in my house. It's annoying as all get out. But yeah. So I spent my days on Amazon and I discovered washable, reusable air filters, which I was excited about, but
Right.
they don't do the best job of filtering. So there's a MERV rating. I don't know what MERV stands for. I'm sure Christopher Matthew probably can tell me what MERV stands for. But the MERV rating on the air filters, basically, it's kind of how good it does on filtering the pollutants out of the air. So the higher the rating, the more pollen and bacteria it'll scrub out of the air. Well, the washable, reusable ones are only an 8, and that's basically just kind of pollen. That's about it, or dust. You get up to the higher ones like 11, it gets a lot more. And given that I have allergies, 11 is that's the sweet spot for me.
Right.
See, look at that. Thank you. No, okay.
No, I don't think that's
Mr.
it.
Matthew, that was good, but not good enough. Multiple impact reentry vehicle. I would not have a problem buying one of those. All right, so air filters.
11.
Yeah, done. We had our first swimmer. Notice it wasn't me. Notice it wasn't my family. I'm sitting in the morning, I'm having coffee, I'm looking out at the
raccoon.
pool, and I see, I thought a frog swimming in our pool. Nope. Little field mouse fell into the pool. And so, being the kind heart that I am, I grabbed a broom.
And
Because I
hit it.
didn't have my pool net yet.
Beat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the funny part is I'm walking up on the side where he's swimming, and he's like doing little circle laps because he's trying to figure out how the hell he's going to get out of the pool. He was not getting out of the pool. He was going to drown in the pool. And so I get the pool in, and it was standard just push sweep broom, and I launch him out of the water. My intent was I really wanted to launch him over the fence into my neighbor's yard. Didn't make it that far. I got him up and out of the pool, and he lands, and he's just motionless. And I'm like,
Shocked him.
yeah. But of course, what do? I try launching him again, just right into the fence. But he survived. Later on, he was no longer there. So, but yeah, the pool was used not by my family, but by a field mouse. That was the first swimmer in the pool. I already kind of covered the more contractors. One more to add to the list. We are now getting our solar heat pump put in that will basically heat the water using the sun off the roof. Not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. I figured I was going to be paying about $12,000. Only $7,000. Deal. Yeah. And then I got a notice in the mail that the post office attempted to deliver a package to our house, and I was not there, which I don't know where the hell I was because it was on Friday afternoon. And all I can think of is they came exactly the half hour I left and went to the store. Because I was gone for 30 minutes. That was it. But on it, it has this QR code to scan it, and you can schedule up a delivery, or you can basically write on the note and stick it back in your post office box, and they'll they'll pick it up the next day and they'll deliver it. Well, I go to scan the QR code, and because this is coming from a foreign country, one that might be invading Ukraine, this person spelled my name wrong, I think. I don't know. But like I put in all of my information. It's like your information doesn't match the information we have on file. I'm like, I can't help it. I think he said Gregor, not Gregory or Greg. I don't know. But I stuck the thing back in there. But this is going to be a new addition for the room here. So once I get that in, hopefully next week sometime, I will share. And real fast, by the way, pineapple on pizza, absolutely, but not ham and pineapple. Pepperoni and pineapple.
What?
Salty and sweet. I'm telling you, it's a home run. Give it a try. Pepperoni, pineapple. It's one of my favorite combos.
Gotcha.
And lastly, just because I didn't want to feel left out, I have a dentist story.
Oh, boy.
So I go to the dentist pretty regularly. Every 6 months, I'm like clockwork. And my dentist, for the most part, over the years, has always just been like, your teeth look great, blah, blah, blah. Well, new dentist took over the office.
Uh-oh.
And I just feel like this dentist is kind of one of those dentists that it's like when you take your car to the shop. You feel like they're just purposely looking for something to find to charge you to fix it, as opposed to just, treating you. And so 6 months back, they did he's like, well, we're doing this with all of our patients now. We want to do a bacterial test just to make sure you don't have any harmful bacteria buildup. And so they came back and he said, well, you look like you have really high levels of bacteria in your mouth, and it's probably coming from your back teeth where you get some gum bleed once in a while. And I'm like, okay, one, I get that, but two, the test you're giving me, that's
Mark, the video's uncalled for, god dang it.
Yeah, I know. Uncalled for, man.
At least it's not an extraction, it's just cleaning.
Well, so I was supposed to be in for a cleaning, and they're like, well, we from the report 6 months ago, you had all this bacteria, so we want to do a treatment. And I'm like, and then they bring out their handy chart, which just always cracks me up. This is when I feel like I'm getting scammed, where it's like, well, without your insurance, it would cost you this much. And they already have it pre-printed. And they're, but because your insurance covers it, it's only going to cost you $655. And I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to pass. Oh, Mark, really uncalled for. Really uncalled for.
Sorry if you're eating
pineapple and bacon. I can get behind that, Mr. Matthew, by the way. So I just am like, you know what? No, let's do that. Let's schedule the treatment for some other time. And she's like, well, and I'm like, because I'm not prepared to pay $655 today. And she's like, okay, fine. And she's like, so we can do that another time. Well, I was supposed to get a cleaning. And she's like, well, we're done today. Well,
wow.
Yeah, we are done, because I'm just going to find a new dentist at this point. Because the other part of it was, we never talked about, there's different ways you can treat this over the counter.
Right.
That was never brought up or talked about. And so, of course, I now have become my own dentist. I will treat this, and then I'll find a new dentist. And if they tell me the same thing, okay, that's, maybe I owe the other dentist an apology, but fuck them. I don't care. So, yeah, that's my dentist story.
Don't blame you. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I just laughed when they brought out this pre-printed chart. With your insurance, it would cost you this much. But today, it's only, and I'm like, wow. I'm like,
I hate it when they do a sales pitch where it says today only you can have it for.
Yeah.
I just, even if it's mega cheap, I hate that. It's like putting pressure on you to make a decision you don't want to make.
Right.
So.
And I mean, I get it. It is your mouth. I mean,
right.
You do want to take care of it, but yeah. And the other thing that kind of led me to this was, as the person that took my x-rays, because they did a new updated set of x-rays, right? She's like, I think I see a hairline crack on this tooth. And he's like, well, the x-ray doesn't show anything, but let's just take a look just to be safe. And I'm like, okay, now see, again, are you just fishing?
Right.
So no wonder dentists have high rates of suicide. They're freaking used car salesmen. Okay, that's it for me. I'm done. Let's move on, Mark. Let's move on. Do we have questions from the community? I did not check.
No, not today.
No, not today, believe it or not.
All of you failed us in the community. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
What we're on now? Game time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, the sound
Uh-oh.
effect ain't working. What's happened? Just sing
I
a minute,
don't know.
Greg. Just sing while I reboot this.
It's game time. Yada 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 yada. Game
I'd
time.
rather focus in on Mark going, oh.
Right, please
Quite the
work.
reaction.
It's game time.
Today I feel like playing computer games.
It's game time.
Fucking Jenny's iPad, piece of shit.
All right, I will go first because
Okay.
my list is actually pretty short. Fallout 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I've been back at it, but I haven't had a ton of
Is
time
that a new
playing
game?
either.
Fallout 4 Jedi Survivor.
I
Yes,
wondered.
it's a new game combination.
Collaboration.
Because that's what it feels like. I play a little bit of Fallout 4, then I switch over, play a little bit of Jedi, and then I'm done. Excuse me. The one thing I will say, I do want to download the new update for Starfield and give that a go.
I tried Starfield recently on Xbox, and every time I tried to leave the home base planet, it crashed to the dashboard. So I give up.
That's troubling.
Yeah.
Hopefully they fix that.
Yeah.
My biggest gripe with Starfield, as well as actually the Star Wars Jedi games, has been the map systems. They were horrible, and Starfield in particular was really poor.
So Starfield's updated the local map, so there's more icons, and it's like more of a 3D terrain setup now. It looks pretty decent.
That's what
now.
you needed.
Yeah, it
This
should
should
be
have been
like
there from the
Star Wars.
get-go.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't understand why it was such a weird map system that they set up, because it seemed like they were trying to insinuate they wanted you to go exploring, but it was so unintuitive. Once you found a place, it wouldn't mark it on your map. So you would come back to the planet and you'd just be like, where the fuck was everything, all over again? So I am glad they have updated that. Hopefully it is far better than it was before. Star Wars Jedi's map system, I've kind of come to the conclusion, Jedi Survivor, it's a little improved, but it's still not great.
But
It's
the
still a
game's
little
still
bit
good though, yeah?
confusing.
You still enjoying the
Yeah,
game?
the game is still great. Very much enjoying the game.
Yeah.
The combat feels good. But the map system, again, these games, especially because you do a lot of back and forth in Jedi Survivor in particular, the Jedi games, you do, retrace your steps often. I do wish it would just be a little better.
Yeah. I actually own Jedi Survivor on PlayStation. I went halves with James back in December, January, because he was pestering me. And I hadn't even fired it up once, so just not had time. But I've heard a lot of good things about it. I know Neil on the Seal podcast, he raved about it.
By the way, Mr. Matthews says he's been playing Cyberpunk 2077. I am constantly being tempted by the Phantom Liberties DLC. I really want to play that. But there's so much on my plate right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe one of these days I will just buy it and Mark, you'll be gifted some DLC.
I still haven't even played the main game. I've started it twice now, and I've still not got far in it.
Tragedy. Cyberpunk 2077, if you haven't played it, it actually is one of the better first-person RPG games in a long time. You have to let it breathe. You got to give it a chance, but it is really, really good. And Kim, it's from your favorite developer. Come on.
I know.
All right. I think we'll go to Kim. Kim, tell me
Alrighty.
about a cat game.
Alrighty. Well, of the new ones on my list, I started Little Kitty Big City. So it's good. I haven't got very far into it, but it's really good. It's not exactly like Stray. It's kind of more relaxed. I mean, I'm not worried about anything coming out and killing me or anything like that. I think the worst so far that I've had is a dog barking at me. So, yeah. And he's got little hats, which I have to laugh about, because right now I'm running around with a construction worker, like a hard hat on my head. And apparently it's keeping the construction worker from throwing me out of the construction site. So, it's good. You go around.
Hold on.
Wait,
Let's just back this up.
Okay.
Your cat has a hard hat on it.
Yes.
Is
He
it
wears-
made?
he's got little-
Is it cat sized or is it like
It
human
is-
sized?
no, it's cat sized. So
And
I also-
that minor thing is keeping you from being thrown out of a construction
apparently
site.
because the guy has not thrown me out of unless he only does it the one time. I don't know, but I've been able to get back into the construction because there's a thing I have to do in the construction site, and I've managed to stay in the construction site since I put this little hard hat on. So I don't know if he just thinks I'm part of the crew or you know what, but and apparently that's part of the game. There's various little hats you can put on your cat and that sort of thing. Yeah, I know.
Cat. Just
I
saying.
love it. I know. It is. I've even got a little like corn like plant hat to put on, but I didn't like it nearly as because it kind of looked like he had a giant penis on his head. But anyway.
Okay.
So anyway, it's on Game Pass. I'm probably gonna end up buying it just so I can support the developer and all that. And it's a cat game, so why wouldn't I? Yeah, I don't know. It's on Game Pass. I like it. If you want a little like this is more of my relaxed, chill sort of game than Botany Manor trying to grow the stupid flowers and figuring out what the hell. Because see, on that game, I didn't really know what the hell you were supposed to do, and at least on this one, I can figure it out. So,
Well, you're a cat, so
cat
you
is
just
a menace.
be a complete
Taking
asshole.
the slippers out of the house.
Yeah.
right?
Absolute menace.
Oh yeah, and one time I was packing a hammer around. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with the hammer, but I had a hammer. You know, get up on the counter there, and I was knocking the dishes off, and oh yeah. I mean, the jumping part of it, I had to kind of work on that because the jumping part, and I know that sounds hilarious, but the jumping mechanic is not as intuitive as you'd think it would be. You know, you think you just look up, put your, you know, little thing where you wanted to jump, and that'd be it. But he can only jump so high, so then you've got to figure, you know, how to get up somewhere else to.
The video of this cat right now, it's just affirming the fact that cats are evil.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I've been saying it all along. Glad someone agrees with me. It's a little twat, isn't it? Just destroying everything in its path.
Yeah.
But he's cute. Look at him. I don't know. And he doesn't like water, which is not surprising because, you know, cats and water. Although I do have cats that like water and don't mind it, so whatever. But yeah, it's fun. Apparently it's not very long, but like I said, I have just gotten started, but I have some people that are almost finished with it already. So anyway, it's on Game Pass. If you're looking for some game where you're not, you know, being threatened by anything or killed or whatever, then and you like cats, I mean, that's kind of important. Otherwise, why would you play it? So
All
yeah,
right.
Little Kitty Big City. I recommend it. Of
Kitty
course.
Big City. Cat in
Right.
a hat.
Otherwise, it's been more COD multiplayer. I played a bunch of that this weekend, and I played some more Have a Nice Death. I don't know what it is about this freaking game, but somehow imagining Death as a CEO of his own company and then having to go after his managers and stuff because, of course, they're just like not doing their job. It's just hilarious. I don't know. I like it. I like the little office humor that goes along with it. It's just because you got Death. I mean, he's
Right.
just sitting there drinking coffee and he rides up and down the elevator, you know, and there's the shitty elevator music that we've all heard before. And I don't know, it tickles me somehow. So,
I think it's because we kind of envision death being that way, right? It's just like,
Right.
oh shit, got to go kill somebody.
yeah, you know, got to go
Yep.
get some souls today, you know.
All right,
So,
might
I
as
don't
well
know.
punch in. Yep. Okay. All
But
right.
it's also on Game Pass. So if you want to give it a shot,
I
go
do
for it.
need it. I want to check that game out more
Uh-huh.
so than Little Kitty Big City.
I don't blame
um,
you. You didn't play straight either. So yeah, I still love
Fair
you.
play.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I've done this week. Because like I said, most of the week was spent with a heating pad up to the right side of my face, trying to get swelling to calm down. So yeah, I'll try better
There we
next
go.
week.
All right.
Yeah.
By the way, Mr. Matthew, solid gameplay options. Cyberpunk, Fallout 27, blah, 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 Fallout 76. And then out of the blue, Louis Raimondo playing skills with the Confession. Appreciate that, Louis. Yeah, confessing to poor taste. That's good.
120 hours of poor taste.
Yes. That's. I think he's into self-harm. That's
Is
really what
that
I
the
think.
remake for Final Fantasy VII, or is that the original? I presume that's a remake.
I don't know. I don't know that.
Oh,
That's
well,
a great question.
Pop it in the chat, Lewis. Is that the remake or is that the original?
Just gonna tell my camera to knock it off. All right, Mark.
Yes.
What's been going on with you?
Not a lot really. So we had not the Friday just gone because me and Jenny went out for a meal, but the Friday before we had Fatal Fridays, and because you missed your Wednesday again, we
I did not miss it this week though.
No,
I was there this week.
I know. We
Somebody
tre-
slept in.
We We treated the community to some Halo Infinite. So Lewis was there, Snoogans and Jay and myself, and we had some good Super Fiesta games. So,
Nice.
And by the way, I don't believe Snoogans was there. I think this is
He
a
was.
myth that's being perpetuated by you. And
I'm-
no, he was at his gay pride parade today. So
The myth that is Snoogans.
And after Lewis went, after we did that, we did 3 games of PUBG. So we haven't played PUBG for a long time. We got 1 chicken dinner out of 3 games, which is pretty good ratio, really. So,
but let's be honest, that's in the bot mode, right? Not the world
casual mode, yeah. There's real players in it.
Okay.
Because when we hit the real players, that's when we got killed. But yeah, there's 12 real players. So
Sorry,
there's a little bit of a challenge.
Didn't mean to bring this down.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, we did Fatal Friday that night, and then all I've played since is I've been hammering Fortnite, believe it or not. So the season ends on the 23rd next week on Boomer's birthday.
Okay.
Let me find the video. Right, so yeah, so I was level 70 something on the battle pass.
Definitely
season
not Fortnite on screen right now. Just
No.
saying.
No. It's better than Fortnite. Anyway.
It's also true.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. I don't know what I did there. Anyway, so yeah, so I've just been playing a lot of this, and I've been leveling up, and I finally hit 100. I've got all the battle pass elements, so I'm ready for the new season. So yeah,
Okay.
I had some good fun with the
Congratulations.
kids. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, quite proud of that, because this is only the second time I've ever completed a battle pass. The first one was a while ago, and that was only went to 74. So, yeah, good fun. I'm getting right into Fortnite now. I don't know why. It's got everything on it. It's got the gunplay. It's got a bit of comedy. It's just really good. I don't know why. I don't know why I used to hate on it so much. Probably because of the building.
Well, it's because you're playing no build mode now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
This
obviously,
is a
yeah.
proper game.
Yeah,
as opposed
I have to stress I only play no build. And the rocket racing. The rocket racing's fun as well. And you do
Okay.
get XP for your character by doing rocket racing. So I think Jay's platinum on that rank, but I've got up to gold 2 on the rocket racing. The rocket racing's quite fun. So it's a bit like well, I don't know what to compare it to. It's a bit like cross between Mario Kart and Demolition Derby type thing. So yeah, it's good fun.
Okay. All
So
right.
yeah, new season starts 23rd, so there's going to be a new world. So there's been 3 mini events this week where there's Mount Olympus on this map. And there's a big statue, and then on 2 occasions it's raised its arm, its sword. Lightning shot up, and then lightning's come back down. And in somewhere on the map there's this massive box, and it's Pandora's box. The lightning's hit that twice. I think it was Friday night at 7 p.m. It did it again, but this time it was like red, so orangey fire coming out of a sword, and that hit Pandora's box. Pandora's box exploded. It bounced off into the sea, and now there's a massive storm cloud, like sand cloud coming in, and that's going to signal the next season. And apparently this next season is going to be apocalyptic, so there's going to be Fallout characters and all sorts, apparently, Fallout skins. So that's going to be quite a decent collaboration. So yeah, it's going to be good. So yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Well, on that note, then let's go forward and do some Metacritic madness.
B.
This is where we would have some kind of sound effect.
How about?
But you know what? Maybe there's a way to mute your ass.
I like it. All right. Human Mark, as well as the chat, I need you to imagine you have been transported back a mere 8 years ago.
Okay.
The year's 2016. I had to do the math in my head. Yes. 2016. We're awaiting the next generation, but it's not quite here yet. And so we're greeted with 3 wonderful games. The first game is a successor to a game that was made its debut, a launch title for the Xbox One. Titanfall 2.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Titanfall 2 came out, hit the scene, and sadly, EA decided to launch it right around Battlefield and Call of Duty, and so the sales were just not quite there, and thus leading to us never to get another fucking Titanfall game again. But
I know.
But Kim,
Yes.
you shall start first.
Okay.
What do you think Titanfall 2 on the Xbox One got for a Metacritic score?
I don't know. I loved it. I mean, I know it took me forever to play it, but I loved Titanfall too. Of course, I love Titanfall. So, and I'm right there with you. I'm aggravated. There isn't a 3. So, I'm gonna say 88.
88 from Kim. Mark, if
Yeah.
you were to gander a guess, Titanfall 2 on the Xbox One.
Titanfall 2 was just, it had amazing multiplayer and it had a fantastic story mode. The first game didn't have a campaign, but this did, and the campaign was brilliant. But I don't know how it was received by the critics. It must have been received well because it was such a brilliant story, and it had the time travel twist in it. I'm going to take a punt and say it's high. I'm going to say 92.
All right, Mark says 92. In the chat, I saw Mr. Matthew saying 86.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim, you were closest. Although Mr. Matthew not far off either. In fact, you guys split the difference. It was 87.
Titanfall 2 was robbed.
87
really
on
was.
on the Xbox One. It was higher on other platforms. Go figure.
Right.
All right. Shifting gears slightly from Titanfall 2, we were given another gem from EA later in the year. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
I thought you were going to say Anthem then. God.
I don't talk about it.
Oh, 2. Not all right. Okay, have a second.
2. Number 2. Number 2, please. Also on, let me just double check. We're talking the Xbox One version. What did Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 score?
So that was
Metacritic?
like the shooter type one, wasn't it? It wasn't the sort of like lawnmowers and the zombies. This was a shooter one, wasn't it?
Indeed, it was.
Oh, I remember playing this. It was half decent, but I bet it didn't do well in the critics. Is it me up first? Yeah.
It is you up first, my friend.
I'm going to say 80.
Mark with an 80. Kim, what do you think? Titanfall 2. Plants vs. Zombies Garden
We're all
Warfare
still
2.
stuck on Titanfall 2. 77.
77, says Kim. Mr. Matthew in the chat said 75. I'm going to say this now. One person, and one person only, has gotten the exact Metacritic score
Chris, isn't it?
for this game. It is not Mr. Matthew.
Yeah, it's Kim.
It is not
Mark.
Kim.
Ooh.
Mark, 80
Wow.
on the nose.
Wow.
Do you like how I did the little mouthing
yeah.
like a
Wow.
Well done, Mark. Well done. Both of you have been on fire, at least on one of your games, and then off the mark on the other. All right. It's tense. This is tight. I'm just
Is
saying.
that the first time someone's got it exact?
I'm sorry?
Is that the first time anyone's got it exact?
I believe so. I believe that is
winner.
the first time somebody's gotten it exactly on there. So
Do I
nice,
get a
nicely done.
special price for that?
Yeah, you get another guess at Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Mark.
Oh, fucking hell.
That came out on the PS4 this time.
All right, not PC.
And what would you think the Metacritic score for that was? Oh, wait. Oh, Kim.
It's Kim first.
My bad. Kim, you go first. Mark, you will get your prize in a second. Sid Meier's Civilization 6 on the PlayStation 4. If there was ever a Philism game ever, this is it.
Right.
Yeah.
85.
Kim says 85. Mark, what say you?
Right, so if this was on PC, it'd be a completely different scenario, I think. But it's going to be hard to translate to a controller, I reckon. Civ 6. I've got Civ 6. I got it in a humble bundle, but I've not played it. But I've played Civ 5 on PC, and it's fucking mind blowing. So I don't know how you'd play it on a console. So I'm gonna go low with this. I'm gonna go 68.
No.
68.
Yeah.
And then in the chat, Mr. Matthew said console isn't great. I'm going 72. And I'm going to say one score out of this is much closer than the other two.
Well, it's not mine, probably. Apparently I went high, I guess. So, oh well.
Kim, sometimes it's good to be high. It was 87.
Holy shit!
Wow.
I really thought I'd fuck that one up. All right.
Yeah.
That's a lot higher than I thought it'd be.
Doubt the console version. No, they kind of perfected the console controls for the Civ games. So yeah.
Oh.
Even though Mr. Matthews said it was crap.
I know.
No, sorry, Kim, you said crap.
I said crap, but yeah.
Just not. It wasn't great. I mean, obviously, mouse and keyboard game is going to play differently. But remember, the Civ games actually play differently on PC versus how they play on the consoles as well. Anyway, that all said, Kim, in the last round, you pull it out. You won. And it was close. There was 1 point difference between the two of you going into that. And then Mark pulled the 68. And,
I screwed it over there, didn't I?
Well,
it's okay.
we've all been
It happens. It happens. All right, let's put that to bed and put that to rest and move on to some news.
Here is the fucking news.
All right. Mark.
Yes.
As a former PlayStation fanboy, Ghost of Tsushima is PlayStation's fourth biggest Steam launch for Sony ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, according to figures on. What was that?
It's a good game. I've not finished it yet, but it's a good game.
So yeah, the game has attracted a peak of 59,244 concurrent players since its release on Thursday. The total has been bettered by 3 Sony published games, 2 of which were developed by internal studios, and those were Helldivers 2, God of War, and Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. So PC continuing to be kind of a positive outcome for Sony when they put their games on PC.
Yeah, you can see why they caved into the Helldiver 2 backlash guy.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other interesting nugget to this. If you look at those concurrent users for Helldivers 2 and then the next game. So Helldivers 2 currently sits at almost 500,000 concurrent players. And then the next best game is 73,000 with God of War.
But one's a multiplayer and one's a single player.
Well, that's fair. But it also is a difference between launching a game day and date on PC and launching it a year later or more. And so the narrative here, I'm just saying, Sony is liking this day and date, this PC thing. Seems like it's catching fire. Speaking of things catching fire, of course, last week we had the news that came out about Microsoft closing the studios. I think you guys glossed over this, by the way, thanks to the man from Ireland, Mexico. But yeah, so we didn't really talk about the fact that Microsoft shut down multiple studios, including Tango Gameworks, Arcane Austin, and then I forgot that it was a mobile studio. I mean, who cares, mobile? I say that, and people are like angry right now. They lost their jobs. So, but that was a big deal. They closed down multiple studios. We don't have any true reasons why they closed down those studios. Other than they needed to make some cuts. But I kind of wonder if, and this is my own narrative, mind you, but if Microsoft is wanting to make some investments in other areas, and more or less, Big Daddy Warbucks, Satya Nadella said, "Hey, if you want additional investment, you have to figure it out with what you've got. We're not adding any more money into this war chest now. It's time for Xbox to start, holding its own, pulling its own weight." And we know they were profitable in the last quarter, but that was largely due to the fact that Activision was there with Call of Duty. So that all said, we got news out of this week that a new Activision studio has been established to develop a brand new franchise. So it's going to be headquartered in Warsaw, Poland. It's been formed to create a brand new franchise for the Xbox-owned publisher best known for Call of Duty, and it's called Elsewhere. The team consists of storytelling experts who previously applied their trade at Naughty Dog, CD Projekt Red. I can't talk. I don't know why. Bungie and Ubisoft. So a lot of not first person, but single player experience being applied here. And it does say that this Elsewhere studio is exclusively focused on creating a new narrative-based and genre-defining AAA franchise. So there you go. So when something dies, something new comes out of it. That's my story. Mark, speaking of dying.
Yeah, I'm gutted about this next story.
Well, you're the biggest fan of The Division we've ever known. Ever. So, Mark, why don't you walk us through this one?
Yeah, so the company Ubisoft confirmed that development of a project had ceased during its quarterly earnings call on Wednesday. So the quote is, in line with the increased selectivity of our investment, we have decided to stop development on The Division Heartland and are redeploying our resources to bigger opportunities like X-Defiant and Rainbow Six Siege, said the Chief Financial Officer, Frederick Duguet. So, yeah, they've killed it. They've killed it in favour of a free-to-play shooter which is going to die after a month.
Yeah. It's pretty disappointing to hear. I'm not going to lie. I did enjoy The Division. I enjoyed The Division 2. I also liked, was it Wildlands?
Yeah, well, that was Ghost Recon.
Yeah, Ghost Recon. Sorry, yes. But they're all kind of similar games.
Yeah, very similar. Similar sort of like mechanics and animations. It's just I love Division 1 and 2. But yeah, it's...
And I know you were very much looking forward to the Heartland. I think a few people in the community were.
It's been a while since Division 2 as well, so we needed this to sort of like keep the franchise alive. But yeah, it looks like we've killed it off now. I know Snoogans was gutted about it as well because he's a big Division fan. And I bet Womble is as well because I know Womble loves Division 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, killed it.
All right. Well, that being said, Kim... we'll move on to this next story. I'm gonna lean on you.
Okay.
If I were to replace my Sony CEO, how would I do that?
Well, apparently, Herman Hulst and Hideki Nishina are going to be doing that. So.
Not one, but two?
Not one, but two, yes. Sony names two PlayStation CEOs to replace Jim Ryan. Apparently, I don't know, maybe they figure two is better than one? I don't know. Given the one that's leaving, that's probably a good thing. Anyway, Hulst, who was previously head of PlayStation Studios and Guerrilla Games, will become CEO of the new studio business group, responsible for all PlayStation game content, as well as bringing franchises to new mediums such as film and television. Oh, goody. Nishino, who was previously SVP of SIE's Platform Experience Group, will be appointed CEO of SIE's Platform Business Group, which will see him continue to be responsible for technology products, services, and platform experience, as well as third-party publisher and developer relations and commercial operations, including sales and marketing of hardware, services, and peripherals. So maybe For the Player will come back. I don't know. Anyway, so there you have it. Yep, two instead of one. So
it's interesting if you look at the division of what they're doing.
Right.
It kind of feels like Herman Hulst is just going to get, he's put in charge of basically the creative side of the games.
Right.
And everything else is going to be handled by this other guy. And I feel like it's Japan pulling back control of PlayStation.
Right.
It is odd that they have two CEOs. That's just odd to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll see how this goes. You have to think. I mean, it's just odd. I'm sorry. It's just odd to have two CEOs. You've got two people in charge of making decisions, but ultimately, I have to think Nishino is going to be the one that's truly in charge of and really have final say.
Right.
And Holst will likely have a lot of creative input and say on the creative side, but I almost feel assuredly can be overruled by Nishino. Just based on kind of their job descriptions and what they're in charge of. Yeah. And again, this this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I wanted to see if there's going to be any butting heads or anything behind the scenes going on there, because one may not like what the other one does. So,
and I do wonder if this is why, because I truly do think Jim Ryan was pushed out. I don't think he left on the way that all went down. It just felt like time to go, Jim.
Yeah,
and
it was a bit of a cock though, wasn't it?
I mean, was he? I don't know. I we painted him in this light of being big bad, big brother, Mr. Sony, but I think a lot of the decisions he made were very business driven.
Mm-hmm.
And now he ran Sony pretty effectively. If you really think about PlayStation under Jim Ryan's,
it's the stuff he did about the Activision merger, though, wasn't it? It's stuff he was saying, the bullshit he was coming out with. That put me off him.
Oh yeah, there was quite a lot.
Crying about Call of Duty, as if Call of Duty is the only game they've got on PlayStation what makes them money.
Right.
Anyway, that's over now, isn't it?
No, yeah. So this is going to be interesting. Again, 2 CEOs for Sony PlayStation moving forward. It's going to be interesting to see how this ship gets steered.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple other little tidbits, little nibbles of headlines. So Redfall will receive a final update adding offline play. Will also include a revamped neighborhood and nest system and single-player pausing.
Too late.
The single-player pausing is important.
Yeah.
Because the game didn't offer it before.
No,
and it was
didn't,
frustrating.
No. Yeah. I actually completed that game. I'm saying it's too late, but yeah, I didn't. It wasn't brilliant, but it was playable, and I played it through to the end. It was quite frustrating in parts, but I won't go back to it now.
It's going to be interesting because I'm definitely going to fire it back up once this last little update comes. I wonder if this game does see maybe a nostalgia resurgence, and maybe people fire it up out of spite.
Yeah. Imagine, I never played it co-op, so
yeah,
you could probably tempt me into coming back to try it co-op with you.
Oh, I could tempt you to do a lot of things, Mark. Speaking of games and companies or developers, I should say, that are being shut down, Tango, makers of Hi-Fi Rush, they also are putting out a final patch that's releasing today. I guess it fixes a couple bugs and minor issues that were happening with the game, and that will be their final patch for the game as well. So basically, both of them sunsetting with final patches to the games that, one caused their demise, and the other one, I don't think Hi-Fi Rush caused their demise. And we didn't talk about Tango Gameworks and why they got shut down. Because everybody's like, well, they made Hi-Fi Rush. It was a media darling game. I loved it. Tim, you loved it. It was a fantastic game. I think 2 things were really problematic for Tango Gameworks. One, Hi-Fi Rush didn't move the needle. As great as it was, as much as the media loved it, it didn't move the needle in terms of engagement. It didn't move the needle in terms of the quote-unquote numbers. And the other big thing is that the head of that studio, it was Shinji Mikami. I think I'm saying the name right. He left. He left about a year ago now. And he left right after Hi-Fi Rush came out. And he was, by all accounts, kind of the heart and soul of that studio. He was their leader. He was the one behind their horror game series. And when he left, I do wonder if that studio just became a little bit listless, like it didn't have direction. Maybe their pitches weren't terribly strong for whatever new games they wanted to make. I mean, they said they wanted to make a Hi-Fi Rush 2, but if that game's not moving the needle, then from Microsoft's standpoint, they're kind of probably looking at it being like, well, okay, great, you want to make a game that really isn't moving the needle. What else you got coming? And maybe they just didn't have much else. And so that may have been their downfall. I don't know
Right.
for sure, but anyway. We had a bunch more layoffs, by the way. A bunch of different studios laying off people left and right. I think the industry as a whole is facing a bit of a downturn right now. And so we're going to see this further shrinking, layoffs, consolidation. And consolidation, not so much in buying up other studios, but consolidation is in shuttering studios, closing them down. There were a couple different rumors on other studios that were getting either shut down or just facing layoffs. So brace for it. I think it's going to continue all the way through summer. And then last little new tidbit.
This blew my mind. I didn't know this was a thing.
So
Yep.
yeah, apparently Tesla cars had Steam support in them. Let's just think about this real quickly. What do you not and should not do while you are driving a vehicle? Text on your phone, right?
Right.
Play Fallout 4.
Well, I was going to say watch a movie or play a video game. Probably up there on things you should not do. For whatever reason, Tesla had Steam support in there, and maybe their thinking was, oh, well, we've got that automatic driving thing that's going to happen at some point, you know?
Oh, the passenger can play it.
Heaven forbid. Yeah. So yeah, sorry people. If you buy a new Tesla, you'll not be able to play your Steam games on there. But maybe you'll save a life. All right, that's it. Kim, we've got some new releases to talk about.
We do. We have a few. I was kind of surprised. Although I guess I shouldn't be. We're not, not in summer quite yet. But anyway. Yeah, your new releases for the 19th through the 26th are, as I scroll back down here again, Indica. There we go. I'll go with that one. That one sounds better. For the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, May 17th. I don't know. I thought that had already come out. Maybe that was just for Steam or something. I don't remember. Songs of Conquest for the PC, May 20th. Gestalt, Steam and Cinder for the PC, May 21st. Paper Trail. Yeah, Trail, not Trial. Paper Trail for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, everything, iOS, Android, May 21st. Senua's Sacrifice. My God, now I can't read. It's all Greg's fault.
It's contagious.
Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2.
That'll be a good game.
one. That'll be one that a lot of people are looking forward
Yeah.
to. It'll be out for the Xbox Series X and S and PC, May 21st. System Shock, which I believe this is a remake or a redo or what I'm going to call it, for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, and Xbox One, May 21st. X Defiant, which is one apparently Mark's not
Mark's
looking forward
favorite
to.
game. Yep.
Yeah, right. It's coming out for the PS5, the Xbox Series X and S, and PC on May 21st. Apparently, it's supposed to be a COD killer. I'll believe it when I see it.
It looks just like COD. I
Right.
can't see it killing it, but it looks just like COD. I've got it on screen now.
Right. Bread and Fred, which I don't know what it's about. I don't know it's toast.
It better be
something.
Bread and Fred. I'm just saying.
All right. Bread and Fred for the Switch on May 23rd. Duck Detective, the Secret Salami. Maybe he can get together with Bread and Fred and make a sandwich. I don't know. Anyway, Duck Detective, the Secret Salami for the Switch and PC on May 20th. Honestly, as silly as that title sounds, I may have to check it out on Steam just to see. Internal Threads for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, May 23rd. Hontai, I guess. I don't know. That kind of reminds me of that zombie game that came out for, what was it, the Switch or the Wii or whatever.
Zombie with the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Haunty, I think is what you want to call that, for the PC on May 23rd. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door for the Switch, May 23rd.
I bet hinges are seized
And-
up on that.
What?
I bet the hinges are seized up on that door. Sorry.
I wouldn't doubt it. They're going to need a lot of WD-40 on that one.
Probably
World
got
of Goo.
Seized up by the world of goo.
Probably. The World of Goo 2 for the Switch and PC and back on May 23rd. And those are your new releases this week. So go forth, play games. Listen to
go.
my cats fight, apparently, in the background. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah, Hellblade 2, definitely looking forward to that.
Right.
If Bread and Fred was on something other than the Switch, I might check that out.
Right? Just to see what the hell that is.
By the way, Lewis, yes, we agree to disagree. Obviously, my narrative there on Tango Gameworks, that's just me speculating. Who knows?
Right.
I think they made a fantastic game in Hi-Fi Rush. It was great.
I agree.
And so I'm bummed they're not going to be able to make the sequel.
So I've got Bread and Fred on the screen now. It's not what I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be a slice of bread running around with someone. But,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, penguins. Now I remember.
There was a game called I Am Bread, wasn't there?
There was. Yep.
Yeah.
This feels disingenuous to the name Bread and Fred.
So these two are tethered together, which reminds me of was it Unraveled or something?
Unraveled, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the other? Chariot. I think Chariot was kind of the same way. You were kind of stuck to the chariot together. You were, was it brother and sister or something? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it came out for the Xbox One. So
I just have the issue with the Fred and Bread.
I know.
I mean, the Fred is a bad enough name, but I mean, Bread, really? That's
Yeah.
Come on.
You know, I was expecting them to be like a loaf of bread and a piece of toast or something.
I mean, it could have been Fred and Ted.
Right.
That makes
Well, yeah.
much more sense.
The highlight for
Fred
me
Red?
out of that, I've got it on screen now, is Hellblade 2. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I just
I gotta play
don't
the
know
first
how
one
I'm going to
yet.
get the time to play it, and I've got so many games half finished.
Oh, I know.
But yeah,
Well, I will say this: I'm excited at the fact that it's not a long game.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
a decent 20-hour.
No. It'll be shorter than that. I'm
All right, okay.
sure it's probably going to be more in that 10-hour range.
Yeah.
And you probably could speed run it in 6 hours and 2 minutes. But
But yeah, I
Um,
loved the first game. The audio was awesome.
Yeah.
And the puzzles were really good as well. So yeah,
I'm down for more.
yeah,
I'm down for
absolutely.
more. Speaking of more, things we don't need to talk about this week, racing at all.
Right.
But we will talk about Halo Wednesday nights.
Okay.
It's happening again. It's coming back. It's fun. It's good. Be there. The cool kids play Halo. Not the Fortnites, Mark. Not Fatal Fridays, Mark. Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah. Fatal Fridays will be back this week. Yeah, apologies for this week just gone. But we have been out for a while, and we always said, me and Jenny said, right, the first Friday of every month we're going to have a date night. We haven't been out for a couple of months, so I thought, sod it, we're going out tonight. We went out, had a nice meal and that. So, and Jay's away as well. Jay went off Friday morning to the coast with the kids. He's not back till Monday. So, yeah, poor Snoogans was left on his own. So, sorry, Snoogans.
We know what happens when we leave Snoogans alone.
Yeah. He drinks and plays PUBG and buys loads of skins.
Yeah, fun fact, people, they don't know, when Mark and Jenny get a date and they actually go out, they rub glue all over their face, they run around naked, and basically go streaking through the neighborhood.
Yeah, I remember get kicked out of a restaurant.
Yeah. All right. Kim, are you going to show up this week?
Yes, I think so. I should. I mean, I don't
Famous
kids.
last
Well,
words.
wait. Wednesday. Yeah, I might. I might bring Anthony
Like-
along if that's okay.
I'll try
Like
stay
I should be
awake after
calling
work.
anybody out.
I know, right? Because the one time I did show up, we were all there, but like for what, 5 minutes? So
well,
you know. But yeah,
Ah.
like I said, it might be bringing Anthony, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to threaten us like that, but okay.
I know.
All right. You've gotten to the show this far. We appreciate you being here. Kim,
Right.
shout out to the chat, please. Let's get that. Let's
Right.
get that covered.
All right, I'm gonna shout out the shouters. We've had playing skills. Boomer, the birthday boy, has been in there. CP Matthew. Let me look at my list to make sure I don't forget anyone because I feel like that was it. Yep, that was it. That was everybody.
I thought I saw somebody from YouTube on there, but I don't
I think
know.
that was Mark.
That was just Restream redoing it. It only did it
Yeah,
once,
see?
I don't know why.
Just yeah. So thanks you guys for showing up and jumping in the chat and keeping us entertained and on track and what have you. We really
Hopefully we
appreciate it.
entertained them. I mean,
Well,
that's
I mean, I
the
hope
point.
so, but I thought that went without saying. But all right, yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully we did our job, so that we're not being paid for. But whatever. Anyway, to continue with the shout outs, shout out to you two as usual. And don't be mad, but I forgot to record the show because, yeah, you know how I am. And they moved the record button again to bury it in the menu, and I didn't find it. And, I know. Sorry. I'll do better next time.
I did notice the record started halfway through the show.
I know. And I'm like, oh shit.
Mark, I believe you are recording the show.
I'm getting the OBS recording. Yes, I can convert the audio and send you it.
I would
Oh, thank
appreciate
God.
that. Thank you.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, hopefully everybody has a good week. I enjoy coming on here and doing the show and talking to people because, as we all know, you are usually the only adults I talk to during the week, which is sad, I guess, but whatever.
That's not saying a lot.
I know, right? I mean, besides my dad, it's not like I sit there on the couch all week and don't talk to him, but you're the only other adults I talk to. So anyway, have a good week, and I'm gonna get off here and turn you over to Mark. Bye.
Yeah, I want to shout out both you and Kim, Greg. So yeah, great to be back on the show again. I'll probably be back on in a couple of weeks as usual. Do a 2-week stint. Shout out to all the shatters and the last lot of Fatal Friday players, which was Luis Raimondo. It was Rob Wilcox, Richie Snoogans, and my son Jay. So yeah, thank you for playing Halo that night and PUBG. It was good fun, and see you all next Friday, hopefully. And let you take us out, Greg.
Well, a massive shout out to Boomer81. It only comes around once. Enjoy it. Happy birthday, my friend. Shout out to the two of you. Absolutely. As always, I need the therapy session. It was awesome. And Robin, we love you. We miss you. Maybe you'll show up next week.
I hope so.
Maybe I'll show up next week.
Maybe I'll show up next week. No.
Maybe. We know Mark's not going to show up next week because he's already stated he is taking the week off to go run around naked with glue on his face.
If you're really desperate, I could join in, but...
Fuck off.
Mark, I'm the epitome of desperate.
I've
Wife's
heard
like
that about
looking
you.
at me. No, not happening. No. All right. On that note, let's get out of here. Let's go enjoy the rest of our Sunday.
Right.
Come back next week, everybody. We'll be on. We'll have some more fun.
Love you, bye.
Where's the outro? There it is.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same time next week.